Hello everyone, and welcome to the Evil Pinely Awards. This is kind of like the Academy Awards, but not really. It's as if all of the judges were just one guy who vaguely remembers a lot of these films. So basically, I'm gonna rank every single movie I watch in 2025 that is a 2025 movie. Some of these you might be like, that's a 2024 movie. And I'm like, I don't know, it was still in theaters in January when I went to see it, so I'm sort of counting it. I'm gonna have to sort of count it, because I didn't put it in the last list, so you know. So I'm kind of going off of my letterboxd here, trying to remember what I thought about these movies. I'm starting at lowest ranked, and then I'm gonna go up to highest ranked. There'll maybe be an honorable mentions bit at some point, where I mention movies that I watched in 2025 but didn't come out in 25 that I liked a lot. Starting at the lowest, it is, of course, the Minecraft movie. This year I'm gonna try and talk about these things a bit faster than I did last time, but come on. I'm giving this one a 2 out of 5. The reason that it's not lower
is because I had a pretty fun time watching it.
I went to it with a bunch of friends. The ones that you may know are, Chad, Josh Dare, Gabby Bell, Roomy Official, the man with 100 voices. So that was fun, we're a big group, but it's like, haha, isn't this dumb? I'm gonna mention more positives. There's some good jokes, but so much of the movie, like a huge amount of the movie, is Jack Black being like, this is an ender pearl. This is a jockey chicken. That's what they're called, a jockey chicken. This is a chicken lava. And I'm like, me. Wait, can we just move on with the plot? I'm currently watching Fallout Season 2, and it's like, there's things there from the game. I've only played the games a little bit. Like, I don't remember them really. There's things there from the game that I'm aware have a background, and you could, like, point at the thing they have on their hand and like go into a full-on explanation of it. Maybe they do for a little bit, but like more than anything, they just move on with the plot and the stuff is there. It's part of the rich world that you're experiencing. This is a crafting table. This is this. I hope the next movie will be funnier, I guess. 3 stars, Good Fortune. A movie that I had a pretty good time with, but also like didn't really stick with me much. The premise is really fun, there's this guy, he's down on his luck, he doesn't have a lot of money, he's doing all of these like app gigs, like deliveries, whatnot. And then he starts working for Seth Rogen, and Seth Rogen's like, okay dude, you can get me weed or something. And the guy's like, come on, I'm gonna steal your watch. He steals his watch.
Evil Pinely note, I f***ed up what happened. He stole his credit card, not a watch. It was the watch is a different thing that happens in the movie. Whatever.
The guy catches him, fires him. He's even more down on his luck. But then Keanu Reeves is like, he's like, I'm an angel, and even though it's not my job to do what I'm gonna do right now, I'm gonna do one of those movie plots where I switch lives and then I make you appreciate your life more. But the sort of catch of this movie is that they switch lives, and then the main guy's like, well, I'm rich, and this is just nice now. I'm staying, I'm not switching lives. So like on the surface, there's something here that's kind of funny and should work, but they don't really go for like a home run with it. I feel like the interesting conflict here, the fact that like this guy is refusing to switch back lives, or he's like, why would I go back to living in my car when I can live in this big ass mansion? It's very interesting for the plot, but they don't know how to get back out of it, And spoiler alert, the movie does end up with him just doing what they do in all those movies that they're like, I guess, trying to sidestep from a little bit. Best parts of the movie is Keanu Reeves being a depressed angel, and he's like just smoking cigarettes in a parking lot. Pretty fun. In a perfect world, I'd be doing this next one out of 100. This next movie, I'm seeing somewhere between a 3 and a 3.5. I'm seeing if it was out of 100, I would give it like 63 or whatever. Let's round this screen, 3.25 stars. I've given this to the movie Wicked for Good. A movie I, again, mostly enjoyed. I really liked Wicked Wicked Part 1. I had a great time. It was a bit long. I'm going to talk about it more a bit later. But this felt like the last movie in a trilogy of prequels where there's just like, well, we gotta get to how this guy became, I guess, sort of spoiler alert. We gotta find out how this guy became the Tin Man, and they're just taking off all the stuff that ends up happening in The Wizard of Oz. And it feels slightly grocery list esque at times. But, you know, I'm also kind of swept in by the world and the music. I still think the main performances are very good. So it's still pretty fun. I think the two movies should have probably just been one long movie instead of two long movies. It's a good time, and I don't like the songs as much in the second one. I think the songs in the first one, I was singing Popular for months after the first one. 3.5 stars. We got a whole bunch here. This was the year of me watching a bunch of 3.5 stars movies. Let's just run through these. The Demon Slayer movie. I've been watching the Demon Slayer show. So the movie had a lot of really great bits. My main issue with it was you could tell that they're planning on then taking on the movie and then splitting it apart to a bunch of episodes. I'm gonna try and like not spoil anything, but Demon Slayer the show kind of often does this thing where a demon gets slayed and then they show what he was as a guy, as a human man before he was turned into a demon, and it's actually he had a sad life, and you know, it's very emotional and whatever. And it might not even be a demon. It might show the backstory of just whatever character. Just any character, they might just show the backstory. Like, this is so sad that this happened to him in the past. They do a lot of these flashbacks that are supposed to like maybe make a fight feel like more emotionally driven. And this is something, you know, they use this tool a lot, but I kind of like it in the show. It's fun. It does often feel earned. It does often feel like, you know, emotionally impactful as it's intended to be. But in the movie, again, you can tell that they're gonna take this film and then split it apart to like 20 episodes or so, maybe less, maybe more. So you just keep having these moments again and again and again, and just, it can be a bit tiring at times. But then you have all these great epic moments, these just crazy animations and fights and all that. So really, I don't know. I'm a bit shaken about what I would give it or whatever. I think if you like the show, yeah, watch the movie. Next 3.5 movie is A Complete Unknown. Between 3.5 to 4, I'll give it. If I would have seen this movie in a vacuum, and I had never seen any other biopics, it would maybe even be a higher score. It's just, you can't really ignore the fact that, like, you keep kind of seeing these biopics. They just keep getting made, and it's like, sometimes it's a little too much. But, you know, I mainly quite liked it. I thought, Timmy's performance as Bob Dylan was very good. I liked all the quiet bits. I liked all the solemn moments. I think this movie has a lot of these. Some of the quieter moments reminded me of the "'Cause I'm Easy" scene in the movie Nashville. And to this movie's credit, I'll say the one thing that it does, that does actually kind of sort of subvert expectations compared to other biopics, is that often it feels like this movie isn't really about Bob Dylan, but about the people around him. It focuses on the people affected by his often very selfish behavior. Let's keep going. Real random pack of movies for this one. Which one should I talk about? Mission Impossible. Last Mission Impossible. Weakest one in a while. Weakest Mission Impossible, I think, since the second one. I know some people really loved it. And to this, me saying it's the weakest one in a while, I still, again, quite enjoyed it. It's long as hell, and this first hour is just filled with exposition. We gotta get the thing to get the thing, and this happened in the last movie, and we gotta explain everything that happened in the last movie because it didn't do that well in the box office, and a billion flashbacks. And actually, this guy that's working for the government, he's actually the son of John Voight's character from Mission Impossible 1, and I'm like, I cannot give two f***s. Once they get that shit out of the way. Once they're done with the first 40 minutes or so, then I think the movie gets into it, and it's a fun time, and it's a Mission Impossible film. And that's what I'm talking about of it being fun, is 2 hours. But then you have 40 minutes of all this other stuff. The water scene is great, where it's just quiet for a while. Again, it felt like those very good moments from the series. These movies have always needed exposition, you know, you gotta do the thing to get the thing to save the thing. But, you know, like, to a point, guys. So, yeah, still pretty fun. I think I liked it about as much as I did the other Reckoning movie. Maybe a bit more, I don't know. Not as good as 3, 4, 5, and 6. Or 1. The first one's really good too. Fantastic Four, First Steps. A lot of these are films where I'm like, it feels like it could have been something very great. I feel that about Fantastic Four. But then it just kind of became too like audience tested and all that stuff. I might even see this one as edging on a 3 even. But whatever, all these scores are made up. All of this is made up. Film is a fun time, you know, it's like, oh, it's another superhero movie. I think it has a lot of these gorgeous, gorgeous shots every now and again. I like everything where it's like, when they meet Galactus for the first time and they're all tiny and Galactus is, I'm a huge guy, I'm a huge Galactus. All that stuff looks really good. A lot of the set designs for like, you know, creating this world that's sort of like 60s futuristic is very fun. Main things that I think could have been better about the movie is, first of all, no Galactus. No Galactus. Enough with this world-ending shit in superhero movies. Get a guy that's gonna ruin New York. I think if Mole Man, they had Mole Man in the movie, I think if Mole Man was the main villain for Fantastic Four, it would have been a way better film. Quote me on that. Put this sign on a billboard. It's often said that The Incredibles movie is the best Fantastic Four movie, and I think that still absolutely stands. The reason it's the best Fantastic Four movie, even though it's not with the actual Fantastic Four, is because I think having the first thing they deal with be something it is world-changing in a sense, but it feels at least very local and on a smaller scale at first. That platform, I forgot what my sentence was, but that sort of situation allows us to see their family dynamics. That's what Fantastic Four is. They're a family, and you want to see that. I think a villain like Mole Man is, again, truer to like the original 60s book. Having him be the first guy grounds it. It gives them time to breathe because they don't need to think about how do I deal with a guy that can step on Earth and crush it. And you know what? It's funny. It's interesting. It's something we haven't seen before. I know Galactus is a big deal in the comic books and stuff like that, but here he's just what's the difference between him and a meteor that's gonna hit Earth? You know, he says a few lines and then he's like, I'm just gonna start stepping on Earth now. Again, all of this to say, I did enjoy it, but come on. It also felt like a lot of the movie was gutted in a sense. I know there was a whole thing with John Malkovich played some sort of villain, and that wasn't in the movie. I know there were a lot more Mole Man bits. What's the name of the guy that plays it? Something Hauser, I think. We can have the name on the screen. I think he was cool. I think he was interesting. I think I would have loved it. Other movies, Blue Moon. Oda, I liked that movie quite a bit, and maybe more than the other ones I talked about, but maybe that's a 4. I think this movie, if you haven't seen it, is incredibly dialogue heavy. I mean, they are basically in one room and the movie is mainly Ethan Hawke talking. That's most of what happens. He's telling these stories and all that. His performance in this is believable. It's so good. I forget that he's the cool and charismatic Ethan Hawke, you know? I'm I believe he's this guy. He's playing this man, this real man. His name is right here. The strongest scenes in the movie are everything where it's him and Andrew Scott. Everything where it's the two of them is so strong. The start of the movie, it took a bit for me to get into this sort of non-stop dialogue rhythm. When I got into it, when I started feeling this pace of it, I actually did quite like it. But then it was kind of broken. But then there's this scene where it's him and Margaret Qualley. And I don't want to spoil too much about it. I don't want to, because it is a bit later in the movie, but it's basically up until now, not a spoiler, but tiny sort of, I'm just saying what's happening. Up until that point, it was mainly Ethan Hawke-like character talking nonstop, and then this sort of baton kind of passes to her, and then she tells him a story for a very long time. And I didn't think that role really fitted her. Not saying that she can't hold a scene or can't do dialogue well, but it didn't suit. She didn't feel like a woman from the 40s at all. I believe that Andrew Scott is. I believe that Ethan Hawke is. That sort of dialogue didn't suit her that well. And the reason this knocked down kind of how I feel about this film is that scene is very, very, very long. And comes at sort of you get to a really nice emotional point in the movie, and then it really sort of throws things off balance for me. We got Thunderbolts. I don't know, I like that quite a bit more than Fantastic Four. That film also felt like they removed 40 minutes from it. That's my main critique. It's been a little while since I watched it. It's a fun time. I think if you're looking for a superhero movie to watch this year, it's a pretty fun time. It's kind of different. It looks good as well. That's the one thing I'll say. The superhero movies looked a bit better this year. The Running Man. That's another 3.5 movie. What am I going to say about The Running Man? Listen, man. I think it's a pretty fun time. I think a lot of people were like really shitting on it. It's a fun time. The crux of it, the middle bit, is very strong. The start kind of tabbles and all this, like, it tries to give the main guy this sort of emotional kind of background, but it feels very, again, like taking off a box. Like, it's like, oh, I got a wife. Oh, this kid is sick. All right, let's go. Let's do a Running Man. And it's like, it didn't feel, I didn't feel the emotion of this scene. Maybe, you know, I don't know about the schedules of the movie or whatever, but it didn't feel like they had enough time to feel it out. The best bits of the Running Man are when Edgar Wright gets to do an Edgar Wright scene. There's a scene with Michael Cera, which is just f***ing great. Home Alone-esque is all I'll say, which I really, really enjoyed. Fun, sort of action-y kind of 80s world. It's very like 80s dystopian world, and you know, in a way where a lot of people have been like, maybe it's a little too over the top, but I kind of enjoy that over the topness, so that's just a personal taste thing. So I thought it was pretty fun. I thought it was a good time. It could have been better. There's some thoughts I have about the ending, but you can watch that for yourself and figure it out. Avatar, New Avatar. That's the last 3.5 movie of the year. That's why number scoring is just a ridiculous system. So I did feel very different things about these things, and I'm just sort of trying to place them against other stuff that I've watched. So just know, I'm just doing the numbers thing, so I can just figure out how to rank this. So I can figure out in what order to say this in the video, but just know that, like, all of this is bullshit. You know, they're giving a movie a score out of 5. I'm like, it's really whittling it down in a way, and I feel like my opinion extends out of this, like, numeric sort of system, you know? But whatever. Avatar, New Avatar. If I'm ranking the Avatar films, I'm ranking Avatar 2, Avatar, New Avatar, and then First Avatar. But that said, there is a bias. Now my memory of Avatar, First Avatar, is rewatching it on my laptop rather than like when I saw it in theaters. And like, I vaguely remember the feeling of watching it in theaters. I remember it being like, whoa, what the hell? These are really movies that are meant to watch on a big screen. I think James Cameron takes so much time to like show you the beauty of this world that he and, you know, the team working on this have created. And it's fun. It's a fun world to be in. That said, I don't find them incredibly rewatchable. Maybe some people might disagree with me. I thought the last one, Way of Water, was gorgeous. That said, I'll say some really good performances in this. Some of the best performances, I think, in all 3 movies. I think it's a lot to do with the fact that just like the characters have like more weight to carry at this point. More things that they've gone through. Jake Sully is a way more interesting character in this one than the first one. It's just so long. Just so long, and every now and again I just zone out while watching it. But I don't know if I'd make it shorter. I think I liked being in that world for that long. I'm not gonna watch it at home at it. I don't think anytime soon. Okay, that was the 3.5 movies. That's the most movies that we're gonna have in one category. I felt like a lot of movies were like, they had something going, but then like, maybe they went through a test audience and like, just stuff got ripped out, and it's a shame. It's a shame with a lot of these. 4 stars. Alright, let's begin. I'm Still Here. Maybe a 4.5. That movie was very good. I'm struggling to remember that because that's one of the first movies that I watched in 2025. It's a Brazilian movie. What is it about? It's during the sort of military dictatorship that they had. Based on a real story, basically a man gets like taken by the government into an interrogation. Sort of spoiler alert, but it is the premise of the movie. So I really recommend this one. You should probably watch it. But then I'll say the thing, it is the premise of the movie. He disappears, and yeah, it's then about kind of where is he sort of thing, and the family kind of trying to deal with that. The main actress, I'm trying to go through these, so this is her name. I'm bad with names for this one. Unbelievable performance, maybe the best one I've seen last year. I don't know, at least one of the best. Just so much behind her eyes in every scene. It is sort of like the epitome of like good, incredible, realistic, subtle acting. So much of her performance is about keeping things under wraps and like holding things in, and you see it all burst out through the eyes. So yeah, just really like that. Yeah, out of the 4-star movies I'm going to talk about, that's probably the best one. So maybe it's a 4.5. it probably is. Superman, new Superman. I liked it a lot more on a rewatch. That's the main thing I'll say. I don't know, this is one of the more talked about movies this year, so I don't have much to add. Really fun. Love David Cornsweet. I love Rachel Brosnan. I think they are great casting. I think Lex Luthor, great casting. I think everyone. I mean, I can list everyone. The casting in this movie is very, very good and interesting and fun, and like, we're getting a new thing. I feel like it's really, really cool. First time I watched this movie, I think sometimes when I watch movies that have a lot going on, and this movie like really throws you into that world. I think sometimes when I'm watching a movie like that, my brain's like, whoa, 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 and it kind of spends a lot of time trying to pick, like, just kind of take in all that information. But on a second watch, when I already had all that stuff in my brain, I really liked it. I thought it was really hopeful. I think it was really beautiful. Talked about things that matter. It was very good. I like other James Gunn movies more, a bunch of the Guardians and all that, but I still really, really liked it. Sometimes the look of it, the sort of really wide angle thing, I'm like, good on them for going for something. And I think a lot of people do like it. For me, it's kind of like the super wide lens, like, when he's flying and it looks super stretched out. It's kind of a bit less for me. I didn't like that look as much. Neja 2. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. Chinese animated film. I think also one of the earlier movies I watched this year. It might have gotten a better score if I had seen the first movie before coming into it. But I just heard everyone be like, it's a crazy movie, and it is the biggest movie of the year, or like one of the biggest of all time. It made over 2 billion apparently. I think that's what people have been saying. So if I had watched the first one, I think that would have given me better context, but I didn't. And so the first like 40 minutes I was like, what is going on? There's a thing with their souls, and their souls are detached from their bodies, and then there's demons, and then there's it's very like sort of mythology feeling, you know, kind of stuff. I'm sure it's all based on things that I don't know much about. But once I kind of I settled in, it's a wild ride, and I really, really enjoyed it. I think some of the shit they do with the animation in this film is so maximalist, so like going for it, and you gotta just respect that on some level when you're just seeing, especially in the last act, there's some insane moments. Like I can't even explain to you how batshit some of the stuff I saw is. What else did I write here? The F1 movie. You see, putting that in the same category as I'm Still Here feels dumb. Maybe it's a bit lower. My excuse is I watched it on IMAX, and all that sounds and all that, like, you really feel it, and you're like, hell yeah. I don't know, it's a great time. But yeah, I don't know. It's not that good. It's the IMAX sound that really got me. It's definitely something you're gonna enjoy watching with your dad, I reckon. Mickey 17. This is a movie that I'm like, so I had a lot I liked about it. I had a lot I liked. Pacing wise, it felt a bit off, but I like this word. I like how I want to take a bite out of some of these pictures. I love the concept quite a bit. I think I really like movies where there's a bunch of clones and stuff or something. I think Robert Pattinson did a great job. Some of the dialogue, a lot of dialogue is odd. Maybe it's a sort of side effect of like, you know, Bong Joon-ho writing in English in a way. Sometimes it feels a bit off, but like, I really feel like even though it flopped in the box office as much as it did, I really feel like this film will eventually be remembered more fondly. I think it's odd. It's cool seeing a movie this odd, have that much money be spent on it, and I liked it. I liked it in some bits I didn't like. Great Robert Pattinson performance, great Mark, he's unbelievable. Ruffalo. Very famous. He's like sort of dictator, kind of Trump-esque sort of thing. It's all very good, and just like, I just wanted to keep looking at what's going on in that movie, so I liked it. It could have been better, but you know. Another 4-star movie is Chainsaw Man. New Chainsaw Man movie. So many movies this year about demon hunters, and I didn't even watch K-pop demon hunters. So many animated movie. What is Jujutsu Kaisen? Is that also about hunting demons? This sort of ghosts, maybe? I don't know. If that's also about hunting demons, that's at least 4 animated movies I'm aware of that came out in 25 that are about hunting demons. I'm trying to remember if there's demons in Neja too. I don't remember, like, you know, sometimes a thing is called a demon, sometimes it's called another thing. It's called like a, you know, thing can be called a ghoul, it can be called whatever. If there's demons in Neja, that's crazy. Yeah, if you like the show, you're gonna like this movie. That's all I'm gonna say. It's great, some great action sequences. What else? Eternity. I was very happy to see a movie like Eternity. That and Roofman kind of fall under a similar category to me, which is, I don't know, it's tough for me to say, but it's like a film that I think would have come out before the 2008 crash. And they haven't made something like this in a while. Because now everything is very safe. And not that these movies are incredibly risk-taking, but I don't know, they're interesting. They're interesting movies. Yeah, I liked Eternity. I think I just love the concept of it. This isn't a spoiler, this is how the movie starts. But, you know, an old couple dies. The husband does before the wife. Husband's there in heaven. Then the wife comes, and they both kind of take their young form. The husband becomes Miles Teller, and she becomes Elizabeth Olsen. But plot twist, the wife had a first husband who died, and now it's like, oh my god, which husband do I pick to spend eternity with? The movie looks really great. The movie is very funny at times. It's very romantic comedy. It's like a vibe I haven't seen. I haven't seen a romantic comedy in theaters in very long. I really liked it. My one thing is like, I don't know, the first half of the movie didn't have music, but then they turned it on. I was like, that's weird. So there's just some moments that felt awkward in a way that didn't, I think, necessarily help the movie. But yeah, love the look of it. I love the way they did this afterlife. I think it's like, you know, very bureaucratic afterlife. I'm a fan of that. I like that whenever I see that. Roofman, another fun time of a movie. Guy escapes from prison and then he lives in a Toys R Us. That's all I'm gonna say. It's a very fun time. It's, you know, lighthearted in a sense. Has a good emotional core to it. Good movie to see with your family. I mean, the one thing is that there is a but at some point. Besides the but, I think great, like, yeah. The connection I see with these two films is like, is this a movie that's really nice to see, like, after Eternity ended? I saw, like, all these couples, like, you know, they're going out of the movie theater together and they're hugging, and I was like, that's so sweet. I'm like, I love that a movie can do that. I really, really do. Black Bag also gave that one 4 stars. It's a good movie. I gotta keep going. Gotta keep going with this. Good spy thriller. I liked it. Good performances. Liked it. Weird relationship, liked it. I like a weird relationship in a movie. Cool choices with the lighting, where the lighting's all like yellow and blurry. It looked like my astigmatism if it was worse. I liked it. It was a cool choice. I kind of took some inspiration for that for some scenes in the It's Only Love music video.
Naked Gun, 4.25 stars. I'm doing this in a voice memo. I realized I forgot to rate this one. But I really love this movie. Went to see it twice. Very funny. Really feels like everyone who made it really, really cared. So, good time, I think.
All right, 4.5. Boom. Weapons. Great movie. Maybe a 5. I don't know. Let's give it a 4.5. It. It's a great movie. What a just instant classic. Great horror premise. Teacher goes to school one day, and all the kids are gone, besides one kid. Are they all doing a slumber party and he wasn't invited? No, it's something way scarier than that. It's a film that I think is truly gonna go down as iconic. Just really like remembered. I think this is like, we're gonna get into the 5s after this, but I think there was a true batch of like movies that I think are gonna be classics at some point, and it's cool to see them in a movie theater. Shot in this addictive sort of way. There's one scene where the main woman I'm bad with names. Fitzgerald something? She's walking in a grocery store, and like the way the camera follows her is great. Shot well, great performances, interesting, cool concept, great stuff. And you know, also it's a great movie theater experience. It's a very funny film. It's the film I saw this year where people had the most audible reactions to. People really reacted to the funny bits, to the scary bits. It's a packed theater. It was very, very fun. What else? Boom, Friendship, maybe a 4-star movie. I'm seeing Friendship and The Chair Company as two very similar things, and I just finished Chair Company and I really loved that, so maybe that's kind of like, you know, maybe that's making the score go up a little bit. I like the Tim Robinson thing. I think he's funny. I think putting him in something a bit closer into the real world is interesting. I think they find the balance more so in Chair Company, which is like, some of the characters are also freaks like him. There's something at the core of Friendship that felt very real, and it is about a guy who wants to be a normal guy. I think I wrote something in my review like along the lines of like, it's a manifestation of like a lot of anxieties. Like, what if every moment where you fit in is false? What if it's bound to fade away? And I think that's what the movie is, like focusing in on that exact feeling. Boom, we live in time. Now there we go. That's a movie I watched at the start of the year. Don't remember it very much. I remember crying. I remember it being very sad. Similar thing with Elio. I really liked that movie. I watched it, back in May? I never saw what it's about. I think it's a lovely movie. Maybe not a 4.5. I think maybe the Pixar making me cry thing made me lift up the score a little bit. That was beautiful, and I think it's a shame it didn't get pushed more. I actually talk about this movie a lot more on my Nebula page. I think I did like a whole review of it, so you can check that out over there. And lastly, for 4.5 movies, Wake Up Dead Man. Yeah, that movie is so fucking good. Some deader moments here and there. That's why it's a 4.5 and not a 5, but me, I love everyone's performances in this. I love how it looks. It's it's crunchy in a way. I love the dark bits are so dark. Fully like kind of goes for that. I don't know if gothic is the word, but you feel it's like the dark church stuff. Maybe gothic as in like church gothic a bit, but you know. I love how Daniel Craig looks like with his hair. I like the mystery. For the most part, I like the emotional core of the mystery, but there's something, I'm not gonna spoil it. I think he nails the tone in this one where it's like, whereas the last one felt a tad too preachy. I think it's fair for him to preach these things, but I think here there was like, it did that, but it didn't feel like he crosses a line of like, it's too much people saying what the lesson of this is, you know? And I think here you see what's the lesson, more than like having it explained to you. Great movie, love it so much. I think it's a shame and a half it didn't get a longer theatrical release. It was so great watching it in a movie theater. It looks so good. It looks so good. It's still gonna look good on a TV screen, but it's like, I watched it in theaters and I had a great time with it. I don't know if they're gonna keep making these Knives Out movies, but if they do, I really recommend catching it in a movie theater because I think they're worth it. I like also how different all these movies look. I like the Knives Out movies, you know, I like them quite a bit. And now we're off to our 5-star category. Classic movies. Arco. Yeah, I loved Arco. Technically a 2026 movie. Oh wait, what the Bugonia, 4 stars. I forgot about Bugonia. Great movie, weird performances. I like all the Yorgos Lanthimos, like Emma Stone stuff. It's great. It's weird. I think he delves quite well into the psyche of someone who actually would fall for these conspiracies. Sometimes I struggle when the dialogue over-explains things a little bit, but you know, I like the tension of like, it's about a guy who kidnaps the CEO of his company and because he thinks that she's an alien or something, and like kind of the whole thing, the movie is like about that tension in a sense of like, is this guy just a fucking nutcase or not? What's the reason behind him doing that? It tries to explore him as a person in a compassionate sense. So yeah, you can check out that film. Back to Arco. I love that movie. It was so gorgeous and beautiful, hand drawn. Oh my god, it's about people and they're traveling on a rainbow. I don't know if I'd say it's Studio Ghibli-esque. I think if you like Studio Ghibli, you will like this, but it's not necessarily like, I think they're copying a Studio Ghibli thing. Maybe sometimes the pacing of it, you know? And just the fact that it's like this hand-drawn, beautiful world and it focuses on like kids. So there's some bits that are similar, but it's definitely its own thing. It is a gorgeous movie. I don't want to say that's a little trouble bit with these last ones where I'm like, these are also the ones I the most don't want to tell you stuff because I think you should just watch it. I saw it early because there was like a film festival in my area that was screening it, so I just went to see it. Catch movie festivals, man. It's cool to see films early. If there's stuff in your area, even if it's not big films, it's just cool. It's like it's a fun experience if you like movies. So yeah, check out Arco. They're traveling on a rainbow. There's all these guys and they look like they're like a Beatles tribute band. And you expect it to kind of go sort of a generic way where like, oh, I don't want to say anything. Just watch the movie. You'll love it. It's great. Emotionally, I thought it was beautiful. Boom, another classic, Sinners. Dude, what the fuck? Sinners. Great, Ryan Coogler. Flexing those muscles, man. Saw this one in both the regular movie format and then I watched it in IMAX and it was so good. Oh, big IMAX screen. Me, I feel like I'm in Sinners. I feel like I'm sitting there watching it. All the songs are beautiful. There is that one scene where they do all the music and, you know, you either know it or you don't, depending on if you saw the movie. Michael B. Jordan is incredible. Everyone in this movie is incredible. It feels so much of its own thing. Obviously, it takes from other, you know, kind of like, it has some elements of like old school vampire movies, but it also... it's its own thing. It's its own beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing. All the set designs, gorgeous. Music, gorgeous. The sort of vampires, whatever they are, scary when they need to be, interesting at times. Loved it so much. Definitely liked it quite a lot more on the second watch. Quite a lot more. I think, again, I watched it in IMAX on the second watch, but like, I don't know, it clicked for me. I think a lot of people criticizing the movie, are like, it takes too long for some of the stuff to happen, but I don't think the movie is just a vampire movie in a sense. I think you're getting a sort of period piece about this, you know, these brothers and, you know, what they're going through, what they're trying to build. The movie's not just like, oh, sick vampires. I think watching it a second time meant I didn't necessarily come in with that expectation, and I thought that was a good thing, because I got to just see the movie for what it was, and not for necessarily what I created in this head that this movie should be, you know? Marty Supreme, dude, we're just so, what a privilege to just go and get to watch these films. I watched this like a day after it came out. God, the intensity of it, you know? First of all, I watched it and my brain turned off in a good way. Sometimes I try and like, I want to figure out how he did this or that shot because it's so good. And this movie looks great all the time. It's the same cinematographer, I forgot his name. Darius something. Same DOP as the movie Seven and Uncut Gems. F***ing great. I watched a video just before recording this about the set design in the movie and about how everything in that world is. They built that world fully so they can then like film it with the sort of flexibility. And like the actors can play with stuff and all that. You know, like when he's in the shoe store, all the boxes have shoes in them so he can like pick it out and decide to do whatever. And all the shoes are of the time. Timothée Chalamet is amazing at it. Odessa, the who plays like his sort of love interest. He kind of becomes love interest-ish, but his only love interest really in this movie is Ping Pong. And this movie is so intense. It's like grabbing you by your throat and you're fucking there, and it's like, sort of spoiler, but not really. You know, a lot of people are talking about the message of this movie, and it's like, I don't think this movie is incredibly preachy in a sense. I think it wants you to feel the same sort of intensity about wanting to achieve a thing that this character Marty Supreme does. And to me, it very successfully manages to do that. Tyler, the Creator. Great performance from him. I thought he was really good in the film. I'd love to see him acting a bit more, honestly. I mean, he always seemed like a good actor from all the music videos. And it's like you finish it and then you walk and the movie is still running in my head for days afterwards. Another movie where that happened to me is One Battle After Another. Out of those four, I don't know which movie I'd say is best. I think I liked Sinners, Marty Supreme, and One Battle more than Arco. But who knows? Maybe One Battle After Another is my favorite. I saw that one in New York in like a VistaVision screening thing. My God, I love One Battle After Another. I just haven't really seen a movie like that, is kind of the thing. And it's like, you know, where would you even put the 3-act structure thing? It kind of very much has its own structure. The way there's a rhythm to One Battle After Another. And it's aided so much by this great score that it has by this person. There's something about it that feels like it's rolling, you know? The name is so, connects to the music so well, and it's like you kind of kept on edge for the whole thing until you get to this point of spoiler for a feeling. I'm doing a spoiler for a feeling because I want you to feel this movie. It's better you watch it than see me talk about it. Until you know, you come to this sort of moment of release in a sense where suddenly the one battle after another stops and you know, you get to like breathe. And God, it's a movie that made me feel that so much. It's maybe one of the best paced movies I've ever seen, where it played with pacing in such a beautiful, gorgeous way. When you got towards the end and I felt that feeling of relief, I cried because I was like, oh, thank God. You know, the car scenes with the hill is just like, I think masterfully done. What a beautiful use of location. So many great locations in this. Very relevant movie. very, very, very good. Sometimes it's harder to say what you liked about a thing you loved, but I loved so much about this, and again, I think you should just watch it. Better than seeing me talk about it. So this is my movies of this year. This is all the red. This is how much I liked all of them. Forgot to do the honorable mentions thing, but this video is already too long. I'll just say that a few days ago I saw the movie Aftersun. I saw it in 2026, to be fair, and it's one of the best movies I've ever seen. I love Aftersun. Me, it wrecked me. It wrecked me more than I don't remember being wrecked by a movie that much. I hope you enjoyed this. I'm sorry for editor that you need to edit such a long video. Make sure you like and subscribe, and hopefully we can get to see some great movies this year. There's something so special about seeing a great movie in a movie theater. I love it so much. It's my main hobby, really. It's the main thing I do. I just love sitting there and being surrounded by people, and I really hope that doesn't get taken away, you know? I really hope it doesn't. So I guess like and subscribe for the movies. Let's like and subscribe for that. Like and subscribe to me, a YouTube video for the movies. I think that makes sense.